As the story begins, we're told that because of global warming, the polar ice has started melting, and the result is that the sea level began to rise, which meant that huge cities would eventually sink. All sources of food and water would vanish, and that's exactly what happened later. Famine spread everywhere, and people started starving for every single grain. But still, there was one country left that had plenty of food and supplies, and in that country lives the main character of our movie, Sing. This city has been cut off from the rest of the world for the past 10 years, refusing to share its food and resources with any other nation. But what they don't realize is that this is only the beginning of an even greater disaster, because something is about to strike this city that will send chills down your spine. Friends, the name of this film is Ziam, a movie you probably haven't seen yet, so stay tuned until the end of this video. It's going to be thrilling. Next, we're introduced to the main character, Sing, who lives in this city. Sing used to be a great boxer once upon a time, but now, after the world has been destroyed, there's no boxing left, nor any way for him to earn his living. That's why he takes up the job of transporting goods from one place to another. But this job is no easy task, because now people are starving for every single bite, and looters try to steal whatever he carries. But since he was once a boxer, he knows very well how to handle such situations and manages to deliver the goods on time. Still, the work was extremely dangerous. That's why Sing's wife, Rin, always worried about him, fearing that something might happen to her husband. What she didn't know was that even bigger dangers were waiting ahead. Now, in the middle of this massive catastrophe, how did this country still manage to have food? Let me tell you, in this city lives a businessman named Basu. He grows all the food supplies in his own company, and that's what the entire city survives on. The whole city, and even the government, run under Basu's control. On the surface, Basu has every luxury in life, but his wife has been sick for the past 2 years. Doctors had already given up, saying there was no cure for her. But then Basu comes across an important piece of information, that there's a certain fish in the ocean, which, if eaten, could cure his wife. So Basu gets this fish imported into his country, and it's none other than Sing who delivers it. Basu feeds the fish to his wife first, and later also serves it to his guests, because he wants to use this fish not only to save his wife, but also to feed the entire country, so he can gain even more money and fame. But this is where the real nightmare begins. Because of the melting polar ice, a dangerous mutation had developed in this fish's genes, carrying a virus. Whoever eats this fish will no longer remain alive, but instead turn into a vicious walking corpse. In other words, a zombie. Now Basu's guests and managers eat the fish, and soon after they begin to writhe in pain. No one understands what is happening. Everyone is completely unaware that this is the first sign of the apocalypse. Anyway, unaware of all this, Sing finishes his work and goes back to his wife Rin. She tells him, "Look, don't keep doing such dangerous work. I love you so much, and if something happens to you, what will happen to me?" But Sing promises her, "Don't worry, my love. Nothing's going to happen to me." Now Rin was also heading to her job because she was a doctor at the city's only hospital. She was going with her friend Min and Min's son Bunny. Like every other day, she reaches the hospital and gets to work, because today she had a surgery scheduled. But then the director calls her in and says, "Mr. Basu's wife has been admitted here in our hospital, and that fish Mr. Basu talked about has also arrived. We're going to try it to see if it brings her back to consciousness." Rin refuses, telling the director, "We haven't even tested that fish yet. It might not even be safe for humans." But the director doesn't listen to a word she says, and the two of them start arguing. Neither of them knew that Basu's entire staff and managers were already infected, because they had eaten that fish. All of them had also come to this hospital. Out of these guests, one man is the first to turn into a zombie. He bites a nurse, and she becomes a zombie too. Now that zombie starts wandering through the entire hospital. Rin and the director also see him, and this is where the movie really takes off, because now, this entire hospital was about to become a nest for these half-naked feral zombies. Whoever they bit was also turning into a zombie. The hospital's patient population started shrinking, while the zombie population kept growing. Soon, these zombies even broke out of the hospital and started attacking people outside, turning them into zombies too. But before the situation could get any worse, the government found out, and the army decided that no one would be allowed in or out of the hospital. The news spread everywhere that no one should go near the hospital. Sing also hears this news. Since he loved his wife so much, he became worried about her and rushed toward the hospital. By then, a huge crowd had already gathered outside, trying to see their relatives, but the army wasn't letting anyone in. Suddenly, a man falls from the roof. When the soldiers check him, they think he's dead, but he's still alive. He bites one of the army officers, and that officer turns into a zombie too. Seeing so many zombies in front of them, the people standing outside get terrified. Panic spreads everywhere, And in the chaos, Singh manages to slip into the hospital. But inside, Singh is not alone. The entire place is crawling with zombies, slowly killing the survivors. Some people are getting slaughtered, others are turning into zombies, while the remaining ones desperately try to protect themselves. Singh, on the other hand, is searching everywhere for his wife, trying to find out where she is. Rin, meanwhile, is hiding in a room with the director. But the director is so terrified that Rin decides to check if there's any possible way out. While searching, she suddenly hears a noise behind her. As she turns around, she sees that the director has already turned into a zombie because he had been bitten earlier. Now he's trying to attack her. But before he can kill her, Rin shoves him away and runs. When she gets outside, she realizes the entire place is swarming with zombies. She has no idea where to go. But just then, she hears Singh's voice, because he has already entered the hospital. He's in the control room, calling out to Rin and telling her his location. Rin also felt relieved when she heard that her husband had finally come to save her. But even for Singh, this wasn't going to be easy, because now almost everyone inside the hospital had turned into a zombie. And if even one of these zombies managed to get out, you can imagine what would happen to the entire city. The government was taking this situation very seriously, and they decided to blow up the hospital itself. A 30-minute timer was set, after which the hospital, along with all the zombies inside, would be destroyed, and everyone still trapped inside would be gone too. Singh had no idea about this. He kept moving upward through the hospital, searching for his wife. Since Singh was still a skilled boxer, he was able to fight off these zombies pretty well. Battling his way up, he finally came across Bunny, the son of Rin's best friend Min. Just as a zombie was about to attack Bunny, Singh saves him. Bunny tells Singh, hit the zombies on the head, that way they die faster. Singh does exactly that, and the kid's advice turns out to be true. The zombie goes down quickly. Afterward, Singh asks Bunny about Rin. Of course, Bunny knew her, since she was his mom's best friend, and Bunny also needed to find his own mother, so Singh and Bunny start heading upward together. Meanwhile, on the other side, Rin is shown, completely unaware of what's going on, trying to escape and save her life. She's moving cautiously because she has no idea from which direction a zombie might suddenly appear. Through the cameras, she notices that Mr. Basu is still fine. She figures she might be safe with him, so she goes to Basu's room and he opens the door for her. Now Rin was safe with Basu, but she was crying a lot, not knowing what to do. Basu comforts her, saying, "Don't worry, the government won't let me die. If they kill me, this whole country will collapse." And just as Basu said, orders had already come from above that Basu and his wife must be brought out of the hospital alive. Whether they wanted to or not, the army was entering the hospital to rescue Basu and his wife. Hearing this gave Rin a little relief, thinking maybe she would survive. Then Basu tells her, "I love my wife very much. She has a fatal illness, and even after eating the fish, she hasn't recovered. That's why she needs blood transfusions. Can you please go and get the blood?" Since Rin was a doctor and it was her duty to save lives, she decides to go out and get the blood, so she heads out to fetch it. At the same time, Singh and Bunny are still fighting their way through the zombies inside the hospital, trying to rescue both women. And this is how they finally find Min. Min is overjoyed to see her son, and she tells Singh that Rin is on the upper floor. But at the same time, she asks him to take Bunny with him. Bunny pleads with his mom, "Mom, please come with me too." But then he sees that his mother has already been bitten by a zombie. Singh takes Bunny and leaves, and as soon as they go, Min turns into a terrifying zombie. Now Singh and Bunny had to reach Rin at any cost, so they start heading upward. At the same time, Rin had also come there to collect blood, but the zombies see her, and they're ready to attack her. But with her husband Singh around, no one could dare touch Rin. Singh fights with everything he has against the zombies, protecting his wife Rin and Bunny, and runs away with them. By now, the army had also reached Basu. Although Basu was actually a good man, he tells the army that they should also take the doctors with them. He was talking about Rin, and the army had to agree, so they start moving toward Rin as well. Meanwhile, Singh is also fighting to save the two of them. But just as Singh moves forward, the army shoots him, because their orders were clear: kill everyone, whether zombie or human. Seeing her husband like this, Rin breaks down in tears, but the army drags her away along with Bunny. Hearing all the gunfire, an entire horde of zombies storms into the area. Singh realizes he has to protect his wife and Bunny no matter what. So without caring about himself, he gets back up and starts fighting both the army and the zombies. In the chaos, many soldiers are killed, and some are turned into zombies. But Singh keeps fighting to protect his wife. Meanwhile, Rin notices that Basu's wife is regaining consciousness. But in reality, she shouldn't have regained consciousness, because she was turning into a zombie. Basu tells Rin, "No, I won't leave here. I'll stay with my wife. You go." Rin realizes how much Basu loved his wife, but soon, his wife lunges at him, and at the same time, the noise draws the entire zombie horde toward Basu. That's how Basu's story comes to an end. But Singh, who was still alive, runs with his family toward the roof because there was a military helicopter waiting to evacuate them. On the way, the zombie army surrounds the three of them, so Singh deliberately lures all the zombies toward himself and signals his wife to head for the roof. Rin makes it to the rooftop, and the soldiers prepare to take her away. But Rin begs them, please wait a little longer. My husband is on his way too. The soldiers agree to wait, but Rin doesn't realize that her husband was already surrounded from all sides by zombies. They could kill him at any moment. But the danger wasn't just from zombies. The building itself was about to collapse. Time was running out, and the army understood this too. That's why they decided to take Rin and Bunny and leave. Just as the helicopter was about to take off, Singh somehow manages to reach the rooftop. He sees his wife leaving, and Rin also sees her husband. She cries and screams, but nothing could be done. Singh too understands. He was a boxer, and he would die fighting. The entire zombie horde charges at him, and he stands alone against them, battling fiercely. But now the timer runs out. The entire building is destroyed. Rin watches her husband die right before her eyes. It's an incredibly emotional moment. But what could she do? Months go by, and now Rin and Bunny are living together. And friends, if you were feeling sad about this, let me lift your spirits. Because in the movie's post-credit scene, we see our hero Singh. He actually survived. We see him climbing out of a steel tank, killing a zombie. And now, the zombies that escaped into the world will be fought by him. That's what we'll get to see in the next part of this film. But for now, he's going back to his wife. You already know that. Anyway, friends, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.